At this point, no. I don't think Wimbledon can reach the playoffs. I think they can firmly cement themselves in mid-table, but I think, part of the reason why AFC Wimbledon showed plenty of promise in the beginning of the season, of course, the academy products, Ayubasal, Jack Rodoni. I just think that other teams didn't really know what to expect from Wimbledon. They expected Wimbledon just to play three in the back, hoof the ball upfield a lot. But the combination of that as well as the honeymoon phase of having fans back at Plough Lane kind of contributed to it. But I just think that Wimbledon are not really right now. I think they're becoming too predictable. Anyway, AFC Wimbledon gave it away here with Woodyard just not on the same page. Not on the same page with Tapo Mabute. Mabute thought he was Mabute tried to make a run down the center, and Woodyard played him square, and the ball just went behind him. Just not good. It's just not. They showed plenty of chemistry in the beginning of the season, but now the chemistry is just off. And they've been stringing together passes very well when they were down 0-0, but lately, when they have conceded the goal first, that's when they lacked the character. They showed great character when they were down against Bolton, when they were down against Ipswich. But now I see their heads drop, and I see them not stringing passes together very well. This is probably one of the first times, if not the first time this season, where I've truly been expressed frustration. Because I typically tend to be a happy-go-lucky, optimistic individual when it comes to the way I see Wimbledon and their future, but I think their future is starting to look bleak, at least in the short term, in like the next 5-10 fixtures. Starting to look bleak, and we have some issues with the audio commentary. Disappointing game, to say the least. I'm not sure which game is more disappointing, this one or the previous one against Shrewsbury. I think the last one, to some, may be more disappointing because we lost to a 23rd place team, and we were only able to create two really clear-cut chances in that one. Kind of the same story here. We didn't create too many chances in this one, and at times, I wouldn't say our defense or defensive shape was poor. In fact, the first half we did pretty well defensively. Both teams did well defensively in terms of preventing that final pass from being created on AFC Wimbledon's defensive end. George Marsh made a couple of really good plays early on in like the first 10 minutes where he made a couple of goal-saving tackles, or in that case, final pass saving tackle, where there was one instance in which Smith and Obene played a 1-2 with one another. Obene made a heavy touch around Chuka and then tried to play down the 6, and George Marsh came sprinting back and slide tackle. That's something I want to highlight. That's one of the positives for today, is that Alex Woodyard now has some help on the defensive end. I think while Anthony Hartigan is a great player to have in terms of connecting a pass, you can kind of compare him to an Andrea Pirlo of sorts. At times, he's not known to track back defensively because he's not that pacey. So you want to have someone that can track back and have the pace to track back when necessary. George Marsh is that guy to help Alex Woodyard. I think George Marsh is one of the key players to highlight today. Didn't have too many opportunities to play that final ball into someone. A lot of times he try to play a cross into Presley or to Rodoni, whoever's in the back post, but he came off around the 70th minute for Hartigan, and Hartigan actually did track back defensively a couple times, but I'm talking about a player that can starts off on the attack and then can sprint back and help out defensively. George Marsh is that kind of guy. Anthony Hartigan kind of played a little deep, kind of like as a holding mid, and he helped back defensively a lot, which was good. Didn't really have an opportunity to play a ball into Rodoni or Chislett. By the way, Rodoni and Chislett kind of disappointing today, I feel like they weren't incisive enough when they were on the ball in a 1v1 scenario. They didn't, attack with enough conviction. And I think that kind of ties in hand with how we're becoming a little bit too predictable now. We play it to the outside mids, and there's always going to be an overlapping one, which is good, but I feel like we depend on that too much. We depend on, okay, play to Osu, play to Lawrence. Okay, there's going to be an overlapping run from Rodoni. Or, okay, play to Rodoni. There's going to be an overlapping run from Osu, overlapping run from Lawrence. Oh, the overlapping run is not on? The defender's marking him? Okay, take a touch back, play it back to Marsh. Marsh is going to whip the ball in. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. It's just so repetitive. It's just not fun to watch. I mean, at times I want to see Rodoni and Chislett, if the overlapping run is not on, take them on. Be dangerous. just like take a touch towards the center, down. That's what Henry Lawrence does really well. When he finds himself on the wing, if the overlap is not on, he'll take a heavy touch to the center. Same with what is it, Dapa Mabute, but Mabute is just a little more careless when he's on the ball. But with Henry Lawrence, he takes a couple of close touches close to his body, but very quick touches towards the center, create some space for a shot or create some space to lay it off to somebody. And that's something that Henry Lawrence did in the second half. He took it to the center, tried to curl it with his left foot just a few yards wide of the frame. Henry Lawrence, I could argue, could be a winger now. I know that he's very good on the defensive side of things at times, and at times can play an outside mid. But you know what? If we're not able to create any chances on the wings, slot him as an attacking mid, or slot him as a right winger, not attacking mid, a right winger. You could have Rodoni on one end, and the problem is, what about a Sal, right? If Rodoni continues his kind of poor run, I mean, this is his first game back, so I can't really fault him too much. We'll see how it goes going forward. But Rodoni just wasn't dangerous enough. A lot of times he would take it back to his right foot, play back to Marsh, or he would put a cross in from his right foot, which is fine. You want to put a cross in every now and again. But Rodoni, I never found that instance today in which he just was, trying to engage in positive football, try to attack his defender. I didn't really see that from Rodoni today. And he also missed a very, very good opportunity. Daniel Chaka whipping the ball in kind of high. I didn't think anything would come of it. I thought one of the Rotherham players would head it away, but Ihiekwe kind of missed the trajectory of the ball. Jack Rodoni took a very good first touch on the ground, or down to the ground, and then body weight carried him too far to the left as he tried to drag it back towards the far post, and I shouldn't say just wide, that was like 4 yards wide. A very, very important missed opportunity there from Rodoni. But yeah, honestly, it's bold, but Henry Lawrence, throw him in the wing. I feel like he would certainly benefit. He would be of benefit. Who would replace Lawrence in case we do like a 3-4-3? If we do a 3-4-3 and have Lawrence as an outside winger, then perhaps we could have Paul Offsu on the left, and then maybe Luke McCormick on the right. But I still think Henry Lawrence would be better as a midfielder, not a winger. But if it really comes down to it, could play a winger, because he's been taking on his men 1v1 in games prior, and when he doesn't find an opportunity to play the overlap or play himself into that space, he finds space on the other side. He finds space down the center, and Dapa Mabute could do that too. He could create some space for himself, and he was, a lot of times he was trying to be dangerous. Fucking camera, sorry. There were times in which Mabute tried to attempt to be dangerous on his own, a little bit more careless on the ball, like I said, but I think going forward, we could play a 4-2-3-1 once again, this time with Marsh and Woodyard as the center mids. But if teams are exploitable in the air, we can have Hardigan play as a center attacking mid and have him as that backbone of the set plays, the set pieces rather. And then we could play as an attacking mid, McCormick attacking mid. On one end, you have Rodoni. On the other end, if we play a 4-2-3-1, then Lawrence would be... have Henry Lawrence play as an outside back, actually, perhaps. Outside back, Henry Lawrence, and then two center defensive mids, of course. Then you could have Rodoni on one side. Hopefully he'll be more dangerous this time. I'll trust his confidence. And then, McCormick as the attacking mid, Sal as the right attacking mid, Ollie Palmer up top. Presley's just not good enough, man. But if we continue with this 3-4-3 with Chaka as that third center back, then I would like to see Henry Lawrence on the right midfield again. I want to see him starting from here on out almost every single game unless he's injured or unless he's not fit. Henry Lawrence, I feel like, is pushing the pace for us, and he's really setting the bar whenever other players are failing to show up. But anyway, nice list. Henry Lawrence. George Marsh, a couple of times tracked back defensively very well. Alex Woodyard did so as well. Daniel Chaka. Daniel Chaka's on my nice list. He won several headers over Smith, and actually he won a lot of those aerial battles as well as just the physicality battles in general. Chaka made it very difficult for Smith to turn and play somebody, or Smith to take a couple touches and take it upon himself to take a shot. Made it very difficult for him. The third goal was kind of rough because he lost He lost his mark, which was Smith on the free kick, just late to react. Other than that, though, played very well. Ben Hennigan did poor. A couple of wayward passes. Gave the ball away a couple times. Defensively was good, but on the ball, not very good quality. Nightingale was here and there. He didn't play well, didn't play poorly. He was just there. And then Presley, man. Presley just looked lost. Presley, I haven't been a big fan of him. I think there's nothing that exemplifies Aaron Presley's recent run of form more than like the last opportunity of the game where Wimbledon are knocking around, counterattack, and then Woodyard plays Presley, top of the box. Presley did a good job of holding it up. He did good in the first 10 minutes in terms of shrugging off his defenders, almost created space for him to poke it past the keeper. But other than that, when he finds himself at the top of the box, sometimes he doesn't look before receiving the pass to see where it goes. He just kind of receives it and he goes, oh shit, what do I do now? And then in that last play I was mentioning, he took 3 touches away from goal. 1, 2, 3, away from goal. Instead of either laying it off square to somebody or maybe passing it back after taking 1 touch, passing it back to someone like Woodyard or Hardigan, who has a better vantage point of where to play it. Play to the left, play to the right, play an incisive pass down to Chislett, who's making a run. Incisive pass to Rodoni. Presley just looked really slow on the ball, and he just looked lost out there, quite frankly. And I think I'm counting down the days right now. I'm sorry, Aaron Presley, but I'm counting down the days where Ole Palmer can return. And is he the missing link? I really do feel like he is. That being said, though, that's all I have to say about this game. I mean, disappointing to say the least, but thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. Peace.